What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Double A Hef here with another video. I'm gonna try to make this one quick, and I mean it. First and foremost, let me just say I do appreciate all the love I've been getting. The new subscribers, I appreciate it. Please do remember to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you do like the videos. And then also leave the comments. You know, I know I've been getting a lot of comments from a lot of liberal black women out there trying to blow my shit up, and it's cool. I don't mind that, but keep the comments coming. Y'all too. I don't mind that, especially we can have some back and forth, and actually like try to get on the same page with some things, because if the message ain't heard, then the message does no good. But with that being said, this video, I'm not going to start from the beginning because I didn't want to make it a long video. Most of my videos are long, and I know that some of y'all say that y'all want shorter videos. So I'm trying to give y'all what y'all asked for. So anyway, this video is 14 minutes long. It's Umar. He's on some kind of radio show. He's talking to the radio host. Quick summary: the radio host is saying, "Oh, white people. What about the ones that like are on our side and fighting with us and stuff like that?" And Umar, went his typical route, which I agree with for the most part. But the interesting thing is, and this is why I love discussion, because Umar and I, we both have almost the same take, but for two different reasons, and that's very interesting to me. So, for instance, Umar is saying that all white people are racist. So they can't help you, and yada yada yada. And pretty much my stance is not so much that they can't. Well, I mean they can't help you, even if they wanted to, which they don't. At the end of the day, go ask any quote unquote white person to take their quote unquote privilege away and give it to you. They're not going to say yeah, So, but again, I've done a few videos about this before in the past, and it's not so much privilege. What it is like they're on top. They're literally the ruling power right now. They are in rule. When you're in rule, guess what you get? You get to make the rules. So simple, right? So stay with me here. So when you get to make the rules, like you're in charge. What you say, go. So for quote unquote white people to be on the side of quote unquote black people and actually try to help them, what that would be doing is taking their power away and giving it to you. And that's not how power works. Human beings have been on this planet for thousands and thousands of years. All right? And in that time, power has never worked like that. Okay? Those who have power seek to gain more power, and at the very least retain the power that they have. Because power, and I've used this analogy before, power is like tug of war kind of, you don't just create more power. It's not just like create it. There's a finite amount of power, and then it gets divvied up. So if quote unquote white people were to help quote unquote black people, the only way they could do that is by giving power, which is that literally instinctively goes against human nature. That's just the reality of it. So that is a reason why if someone were to ask me, say I was in an interview and they asked me, "Oh, what about the white people that's out here helping us and stuff like that, and they with us?" I would say what I just said, number one, and I would say number two, those would be quote unquote liberal Caucasians, and those people are like wolves in sheep clothing, and this isn't anything new. Malcolm X has spoken out about this. There's been many books written about it. I've mentioned some in some of my past videos. One of the books, it's actually a really short read, is by Umar Johnson, and he just goes into like how communism was affecting the quote unquote black community in the 50s and stuff like that, and the tactics that they use. So any quote unquote liberal Caucasian trying to help me no, thank you. I'm good. You know what I mean? For the most part, anyone trying to help me, for the most part, I'm good. You know, I need to help myself. And that's what the quote unquote black community needs to get back to, helping ourselves. If you helping yourself and worrying about your damn self, then you know you won't need help from anybody else. You know, like you'll be just fine on your own, and you'll be able to weather the storms when they come, if they come. But anyway, I'm gonna start playing this video because I just want to point out a few things. And feel free to check out the full video if y'all want to. Obviously, Dr. Umar Johnson debates white people loving radio hosts is the title. And I think it's like King Consciousness.
They'll never do anything politically to change our access to the wealth in America's banks. I want to see a nuts and bolts operation on paper by a white person or white organization designed to destroy white privilege or systemic racism.
All right, so see, this is what I want to say. So, like I said, I agree with Umar. You know, on many of what he's saying, on much of what he's saying. However, certain things I disagree with, because what he just said, he wants to see a nuts and bolts idea put in place by quote unquote white people to dismantle the racist system or whatever, racism. And I just stated before, the only way like things can change is through the transference of power. And again, that's not going to happen. And not for nothing, what he's asking of quote unquote white people, like for him to accept him as part of as help in part of the movement, I don't even see quote unquote black people doing. I don't. So again, that goes back to what I said again prior. We have to help ourselves. First of all, we got to get on the same page and help ourselves before we could even be having discussions about quote unquote white people helping you. All right, you don't even know what the fuck you need. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know what we need yet, quote unquote. You know. Now, I know some things that we need, but as a whole, as a group, no, we don't know what the hell we need, because we're not unified. You know, there's no unity, there's no community, and I say it all the time. The quote-unquote black community is a joke because it doesn't exist. Black is a color. Colors don't have communities. That's first and foremost. Second, like I've said several times, the black community, and I'm not talking. I'm aware that there are some, suburban areas, that are, kind of, I'll just say well off, for lack of better terms, but suburban black neighborhoods. There are a few of those sprinkled across the nation. I get that, but obviously I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the community like where I'm from and where most of the niggas that I know are from. These communities, these quote-unquote black communities, not over 90% of the things in that community are not owned by quote-unquote black people. That goes from the businesses, that goes from the homes, and that even goes to the cars. Because a lot of times, especially where I'm from in the city, most people don't have a car. You take the train. So the cars in the city not owned by y'all, and those of you that do have a car, don't mean you necessarily own it. You still got to pay that car note, so you don't own it. The bank owns it. And unless you have, some pretty impressive revenue streams coming in, then, I get it. People are gonna say, oh, most people don't own stuff. I get it. But if you don't have the revenue streams coming in, then that means that literally any day something can happen, and then you could wind up losing your livelihood. And that's not a knock against people, because obviously there's been studies done where I forget the percentage, but a very large percentage of the American people live paycheck to paycheck, okay? So with that being the case, obviously most people aren't that far away from, being at some, or having to endure some real hard times financially. So let me get back to this.
Never seen it. All I see is white folks coming around black folks, hugging and kissing and singing and loving and marching and holding hands, which is nothing but a social gesture. That is nothing but cosmetic surgery. That is nothing but a public circus. I want to see what you do after the march. I want to see what you do after we hold hands. I want to see what you do after we sing the songs. I want to see what you do after you come from the Breonna Taylor rally.
See, the thing is, Omar, and I'm sure that, before I even say what I want to say, I've been very critical of Omar. I'm critical of of many people, not even just in the quote-unquote black community, but especially in the black community. I'm very critical, but I'm not, you say, like, fake. I can disagree with someone on one stance and then agree with them on something else. Obviously, like in this, I agree with Umar. Now, there's things that he says, even in this, even with me agreeing with him, even as he's going about it, I disagree with a lot of the ways that the conclusion that he's coming to. Like, for instance, right now, he's saying, oh, what are you doing after this? What are you doing after that? Listen, look, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you're doing before, after, or during the goddamn protest. First of all, niggas shouldn't even have been out there fucking protesting. Because it didn't accomplish anything. It won't accomplish anything. It's never accomplished anything. So you're wasting your goddamn time. Okay? I could care less about what the quote-unquote white man is doing. That's really... I could care less. And I don't think Umar actually cares. I think what he's just trying to paint a picture, and saying, what if you really want to help, what are you doing after that? Because I don't think that he himself cares either. But just in case that he does, obviously I disagree with that. None of us should be caring about what the quote unquote white man is doing, whether they're helping in protests that mean nothing or not. Okay, but a lot of y'all, y'all see the white man, kneeling with you, the white cops kneeling and all sort of stuff, and then y'all be like, oh yeah, down for the cause, and then y'all know y'all want to let that one tear drop out of your damn eye because that shit touched your fucking heart because the quote unquote white man is fucking linked with you in solidarity. Like, come on now, man, come on, we gotta wake them niggas up, okay? The niggas that's out there like, oh yeah, that's awesome. They're with us and stuff like that. No, y'all niggas is y'all the real coons. Y'all the real coons, because y'all niggas is fools. All right? And that's part of the mission. We got to start waking motherfuckers up. That is some bullshit, And another thing I wanted to say too, because I do get a few, not a lot of comments about this, but I do get a few. For instance, we have to start drawing lines. Obviously, I started the Facebook page, America's Original People, AOP. It's a group that I started for the quote-unquote black man and black woman of America, meaning the black people of captivity, meaning the ones that, not Africans. Obviously, most quote-unquote black people that are listening to this, y'all know what I'm talking about. If I say, us and then Africans, we all know Africans. Now, I don't want to go into a huge topic about Africans because I already have a video about them, one, and I'm going to do some more in the future. But I will say this. In the America's Original People AOP Facebook group, I do not allow anyone that is outside of the demographic, which is America's Original People, quote-unquote black people of captivity, not these Africans. One of my best friends is African. He is not in the group. He will not be given access to the group. Period. Nothing against him personally, but I just understand that we have a fight that we need to fight. And we have things that we need to address. And having outsiders come in is not going to help it, no matter how good their intentions may or may not be. So I say that to say this. If we're talking about white people and stuff like that helping the group, and look, nigga, no. I'm not even letting quote-unquote Africans in this shit. So, obviously, no. Obviously. And that's not coming from a racist, standpoint. It's more or less, we need to take care of we.
After you come from the Ahmaud Arbery rally, after you come from the George Floyd riot, don't tell me that standing with black people doing the social public event is progress. Progress is white people challenging white people to destroy the system of racism. And until I see white people challenge white people to destroy racism, can't nobody ever tell me that white folks are sincere in their efforts to destroy racism, because if they were, racism would have been destroyed 100 years ago.
But again, so obviously that won't happen. Like I said, go ask, your quote-unquote white friends or family members or whatever the case may be, coworkers. Maybe not your coworkers. Obviously you don't want to lose your job. But go ask, just, hey, would you give up your quote-unquote privilege? No. If quote-unquote white people really want to help, what they need to do is go home and empty out their bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? And then give it to a quote unquote black person. If you really want to help, then it'll never happen. So obviously there's nothing you can do to help. Period. There's nothing you can do to help. So my people out there, I know a lot of quote unquote white people ask you, "Oh, we want to help. How can we help?" This is how you help. Unless you're gonna go to your bank and empty out that motherfucking account, then there's nothing you can do to help. So just step aside and continue doing what the hell you were doing. And that's it. It don't gotta be, any more than that. Keep it plain and simple.
Can't argue with you there. I can see. I let it go. I let it go.
You see, it's the disarming of the victim that we don't see. Let me give you an example, my brother. And
this is something I also want to point out. If you look at like this photo, just still shot of this is Times Square, looks like New York City, and this is a Black Lives Matter protest. Look at all the people. You see a lot of quote unquote non-blacks here, and that's just the reality. When you look at these Black Lives Matter protests, they're literally filled with quote unquote liberal Caucasians and gays and trannies. That's literally who's out there marching in the quote unquote Black Lives Matter protesting marches and shit. And I've made a video about this before, and I'm gonna say it again. You cannot be for the black community if you are not for the quote-unquote black man. It's impossible. And like I said, I've done a video on it. I dare anyone to try to challenge that idea. Please, by all means. It's impossible. And that is why it is one of my missions is to obviously reinstate the black man as head of the quote-unquote black household. And then, obviously, by extension, the black community. The quote-unquote black community. All right? But as long as, you have these movements being freaking commandeered by people that aren't quote-unquote black men, then you're never going to get what you quote-unquote want. But then again, that brings me back to most don't know what the fuck they want. Most people that still shot don't know why the fuck they there. They there because it's something to do. But they have no idea about what the fuck's going on. They have no idea what to want or how to get it. They don't have a fucking clue. Because if they did, they wouldn't be out there. Period. So I'm gonna wrap this one up because this video obviously is going on long, but yeah, I just wanted to touch on some things and do a video where I'm not, going in on Umar. So, cause I know a lot of the Umar fanboys out there, and there's a lot of y'all motherfuckers. A lot of the Umar fanboys out there been all up in my comments, clickety clacking like, "Oh, Umar this, Umar that." Look, Umar is a brilliant mind, great speaker, but the niggas been scamming people out of their money for the goddamn quote unquote school, man. That's just the truth. It don't take that damn long to build this goddamn school. I ain't even building it. It'd be different if the shit was being built and that's one thing. But the shit is already built. You just gotta renovate it. Every time I see a video of this thing in the school, it's the same holes in the walls. The same toilet bowl was missing and shit. It's like, bruh, how you asking for fucking donations? You even got tier levels of donations. He got silver, gold, platinum, and some other shit. Presidential, I think he called it, some shit like that. And you just got people blindly donating money. Now, don't get me wrong. The people that are blindly donating money, shame on you. You know, I don't have any sympathy for you. You know, we're years into this shit already. And if you still donating, then that's on you. But at the end of the day, I've never once heard Umar say, look, our goal is 5 million. And right now we're sitting at 1.2 million. So, you know, we're going to have to, you know, we got a ways to go. We're almost at, you know, a quarter of the way through, half of the way through, yada, yada. You know, there's none of that. None of that. So, if you got a brain in your fucking head, obviously this nigga's just getting money. Obviously, man. But, yeah, and I'm not going to change on that. I'm not going to change on that at all. So y'all Umar fanboys out there that want to try to freaking, you know, keep on clickety clacking, but I'm letting you know right now, I'm not changing on that. That's the reality of the situation. And you know, if you're hurt because you're actually donating, then nigga, that's on you and him. Take that shit up with him and get the fuck out of my comments with that bullshit, because I ain't got time for that. All right, but anyway, peace.